Today we have an interview with the one and only 2012 Olympian, Holley Mangold. We're going to ask her some questions we know she's not been asked before. So tune in, listen. We hope you enjoy. Hello everyone, I'm Drew Dillon from Columbus Weightlifting. We're playing around, we're experimenting a little bit. We've had a few requests that you want to get to know the athletes, you want to get to know people that we interact with more. So right off her national championship, right off the Biggest Loser, right off her wrist injury, right off the Olympics, I'm not sure if you all have heard Holley's story. So we decided to start with Holley. There's a lot out there that you can find, HBO, NBC, a lot of different interviews. So we're going to touch on some of the old stuff, but let's also take it to some new stuff that might not have been answered. So, hello Holley.
Hello.
So starting that out, Holley, where are you from?
I'm from Dayton, Ohio, and I grew up there, lived there, and then I moved up to Cleveland for school, and was there for a while, moved some other places, and then I've been in Columbus for the last 3 years.
Gotcha. And when and why the sport of weightlifting?
Well, I was really big into football and track and field, and being a female on a football team, my biggest goal was to get as strong as I possibly could because I just had to compete with the men somehow. And I got into powerlifting, and I was really good at powerlifting. It was super fun, but there was something, just to go to that next level in powerlifting, it just wasn't that fun for me. And I've always wanted to be an Olympian. I've always wanted to go to the Olympics, so I researched and I found Olympic weightlifting, and I thought, this is for me.
Gotcha.
This combines weightlifting and doing some stuff for the Olympics, and I might have a shot.
Gotcha. So it was, I wanted to be an Olympian. This is my ticket to there.
Exactly.
Interesting. So before we get into some of the kind of standard questions, one I've been dying to ask you, and I don't think I've asked you yet, is, so you're an Olympian, you're a national champion, you've been on a Pan Am team, you've done awesome stuff in high school football, you've done awesome stuff in powerlifting in a short span. Did you do the Biggest Loser because you were sick of winning and wanted to try losing?
That's hilarious. That's really funny. No, I did the Biggest Loser because they asked me. There's no good answer. Like people ask me all the time, so why did you do it? Why did you do it? Honestly, NBC called me and said, hey, we want an Olympian on the show, and I go, all right. It seemed like a great opportunity, and I always wanted to lose like a little bit of weight to be a better weightlifter because I was, getting rather large. I wanted to get that under control, and it just seemed like just a great opportunity just to do something fun, kind of crazy. Who does that? Like, who just goes and lives on a ranch with strangers and goes to basically boot camp? Well, fat camp for adults. It's not that fun.
Gotcha.
It's rough.
Interesting. So now you're back from the Biggest Loser. Where do you train now? Who do you train with?
So I train at Columbus Weightlifting, which is located in Endeavor, CrossFit, and I train with Mark Canella, who I've been training with for the last 3 years, and I'm really excited to just get back into the swing of training because my training has been sporadic at best for the last 2 years.
Gotcha. Another personal question. I'm not sure if it's ever asked. Your brother, what's it like to have a brother who's always chasing your successes? I mean, Olympian to NFL, do you feel bad?
That is the best way that has ever been put. I felt, well actually this is really funny because I haven't told you this yet, but when I was competing at nationals, my mom was there and she was kind of texting with my family, and she had a big group message text, and my brother answers back. She's kind of updating them on how I'm doing, and my brother goes, so don't mean to be dumb, but what does this mean? And my sweet little mother, she texts him back and goes, well, it's kind of like you winning the Super Bowl. And it was really funny, and it was kind of like, this back and forth of how do you compare being an Olympian to being a professional football player? How do you compare? And honestly, there is no comparison. There's a bunch of different things that that are similar and different, and it's really funny. I'm just happy that he's, you know, at his top of his sport, and I feel like I'm at my top. But it's funny because like you know what's good for football, and you think you know what's good for weightlifting, but he had no idea. It was interesting.
That's pretty interesting. So a family full of great athletes, and Nick's had a tremendous career. If you follow Nick Mangold, if you haven't, check it out. Really pretty interesting stuff, and to think that they have the same genes. So we kind of see, you know, pretty cool contrast of different paths, two different athletes.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
That is pretty neat. So your next big competition, what's on the horizon for you?
Well, I'm hoping to be on the world team. You know, right now, currently, I am on it, but you never know. You can always get bumped off if, you know, someone else comes to a different competition. But I'm going to strive to get more. I'm going to the Pittsburgh Invitational, I think. Is that what it's called?
I believe so.
Yeah. Pittsburgh Invitational Young Guns, something, August 23rd, hoping to, you know, secure my spot even more. But I really want to go to Kazakhstan. Funny thing is I'm an Olympian, but I've never been to a world championship. So I'd really like to do that. For me, it's been a lot harder to make a world championship than it was to make an Olympics. So I'd really like to do that and kind of get back to the numbers I was right before the Olympics.
Gotcha. So that was actually the next question. And one thing I know, also competing in weightlifting, I hate this question when it's asked to me, so I apologize, I'm going to ask it, but we had a couple fans that wanted to know, what numbers are you shooting for?
Ooh. Those are always tough ones, because, you know, getting a 1 kilo PR is like moving a mountain. So it's really hard to kind of say what are your goal numbers to get back to, but, you know, I'd really like, at this August meet, I'd like to get back to a 240 total. And then, you know, at Worlds, I'm looking to get back to what I was in 2012. So 255, 265 total, somewhere around there. So we're looking at like 115, 120 in the snatch, 145, 150 in the clean and jerk.
Gotcha. So is this for this meet overall? Is that kind of long-term goal? Is that where you're headed?
Actually, that's for World Championships. I really hope to make the team, and I hope to do those numbers there. You know, long-term goal, I got to be honest with you, sometimes you get really nervous about saying numbers out there because people go, well, you can't do that, or now you feel like you're obligated, you have to do it. But to be honest with you, I would love to snatch 130 and clean and jerk 170 and be the first American girl to hit a 300 total.
That'd be awesome. So that's a great goal. And guys, you know, out there, if you're kind of thinking, well, it's not a stupid question, we want to know, I really encourage you to do a few weightlifting meets and have someone ask that. I think the other pet peeve question is, well, how do you want to do? The best I can do. I mean, answer it yourself. You know, no, I hope I do shitty today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hope I bomb out. You know, that would be great.
I hope I'm mediocre today. You know, looking for some mediocre numbers. You're always pushing to do your best. So, not picking on you guys, but get out there, do a meet, and then have somebody ask that, and I think you'll feel that same kind of in your gut kind of.
What do you say? Do you fail if you don't hit exactly what you're going to hit, but you still hit a PR and you did the best that you could? So it is a really hard question to answer.
It can be, and definitely some weightlifters absolutely hate that question. Some, you know, let it slide off their back a little bit.
Yeah, I think that since I have that goal, and it's a pretty outlandish goal, I mean, it's doable, but it's hard. I'm okay with any numbers underneath that.
Right?
Yeah.
So what do you foresee your training being like in the next few months?
I think I'm set up for, you know, I'm really, really lucky. I get to just do double days a lot. So I'm going to do, or 2 days, whatever you want to call them. You know, training a good 5 days a week, you know, getting the rest when I need the rest, but making sure to push it as hard as I can. You know, I'm kind of, it's like I've got to make up for the time that I've missed. So I'm definitely pushing my body a lot harder than I have in the past. But I'm really lucky to have the ability to basically just focus on training and focus on my body and recovery and make sure I get back to those numbers as quick as I can.
Excellent. So everyone, I hope you liked this today. Again, it's a format that we're playing with. Would love to hear your feedback on questions that you would like answered, thoughts in general about the overall interview, and other athletes you'd love to hear from that we can reach out to and get a hold of. Last question for Holley is, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook. I have a fan page, Holley Mangold fan page. Real hard to find. It's not. I have a Twitter, Holley Mangold. I have an Instagram.
She's verified.
Holley Mangold. I am verified.
She got the blue check. If you got the blue check, if you don't have the blue check, she might not answer you. But.
Okay, that's not true. I'm verified because they made me verified. But yeah, Twitter, Holley Mangold, pretty much anything. It's just Holley Mangold, but it's Holley spelled H-O-L-E-Y. It's a little tricky.
Yeah, so they misspelled it at birth, and she's held on to it.
Spelled right.
Any sponsors that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to. I really appreciate Holley has sponsored me, and Mod Paleo pretty much feeds me, which is amazing. They're prepaid paleo meals, and Rock Tape has been amazing throughout my entire career. You know, there's a bunch of other companies that have done great things for me, but those stand out as, you know, the ones that have really helped me out and love to help athletes in general.
Definitely. So guys, we'll have some links below the video that you can find some of the companies, and also to connect with Holley if you'd like. Love to hear any feedback you have. Hope you enjoyed.
Right there, I'm gonna have my mean face on.
Don't put your mean face on.
It's
Smile.
on purpose.
Smile. Smile.
I'm smiling. Ah! This is my smile.